Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's second networking workshop from TU20 Ventures. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to be talking about last-minute submissions. We're going to be talking about cold calling and emailing tips and tricks, and then 2 separate epic game times, which is going to be awesome. So just quickly, we're going to talk about what you guys were doing this past week, and that is to find as many mentors or professionals as you can and just connect with them by LinkedIn or email or any other form of contact that you have. And then you were to submit screenshots or proof of connections from last Tuesday to this Tuesday for that, and whoever connects the most gets a prize. So now we're going to be giving you guys 10 minutes just to wrap up. So you can add any last minute connections, submissions, and if you have not submitted the form, now's your chance to do so. So yeah, thank you, Eric, for the form link. So yeah, you guys have 10 minutes to finish up, and we'll just meet back here at 5:40. So I hope you guys were able to submit or connect. And now we're going to move on to Eric, and he's going to talk a bit about cold calling. Eric, you're muted.
Oh, I was on mute that time. Sorry about that. Okay. So the cold calling, this is our main content for the presentation today. Right. So hopefully you can hear me now. But so what is cold calling though? Cold calling is basically a technique which you use to contact and network with people you've never met before. And this not only applies to phone calling, this also applies to email and other messaging platforms like LinkedIn as well. And overall, cold calling is a great way to learn more about people who you really want to connect with and learn more about. Example would be if you want to request for a coffee chat with someone you find intriguing. That's what a lot of people do after they send their initial cold call. They request for a coffee chat to learn more about them. It's a great thing you can do. And just like general networking, this is a great way to make a new friend or even find your next business partner. And in the world of business, it's where salespeople try to get in contact with potential customers and business partners to get interest for their products and services. So it's a much more serious purpose in the business world. And this technique may seem daunting at first to lots of people, especially people who are shy, but we'll be covering some useful tips in the next few slides that'll help you up your cold calling game. Next slide. So we've condensed these cold calling tips into these 5 tips. We felt that these were the most important ones to do. So first one is to do some research on the person who you're contacting beforehand. You want to incorporate this information into your email or even your phone call, but only do it in places where it's appropriate. Like don't creep them out. Just don't try to do intensive research on them. So everything, like their entire background. You just want to know the important stuff, like what their position is, what their job title is, what their interests are. So this will make your contact believe that you'll have a genuine interest in them, and this will make it more likely that they'll actually follow up with your cold call. So that was the first tip. Now the second tip is to keep your email or your call relatively short and concise, and you want to make sure that your subject line and content are very closely related. So in an email, no one wants to read a huge word dump, even if it was really detailed or well thought out. And even worse, no one wants to read a bunch of gibberish that's not related to the purpose of email whatsoever. So if you keep your content concise, you'll make sure that you don't bore your contact and they can skim through your email very quickly. And most of the times, the people you contact, they have really busy days. So take that into consideration when determining an appropriate length for your email or call. That was tip 2. Now tip 3, make sure you introduce yourself and you should make sure you show interest in the person you're contacting with. It's pretty straightforward. But so not only do you have to already know a bit about like the person you're contacting, you have to tell them about yourself as well. Otherwise they may be creeped out. So this will allow them to have a better understanding of you and also understand like why you're writing this email to them. And also you should make sure to provide your contact information other than your email, such as your phone number. Usually contacts like to follow up on phone or like on a video platform like Zoom or Google Meets for like a more personal meeting with you. Yeah. So the fourth tip is to talk about like why you're calling them and be persuasive and be passionate about what you want to do. So make sure you have a clear purpose as why you're contacting someone. This sounds very obvious, but sometimes very neglected. Make sure your email or cold call has a thorough purpose, a clear purpose. And if not, they're going to feel that it's like a waste of time for them to follow up or reply. And ensure that you both show interest in each other by providing a sufficient background about yourself and doing research on the person you're contacting. And then the final tip, I mean, this is a really important one, be chill. Don't be nervous, but this mostly applies to cold calling, like actual phone calling, but even within emails, you want to keep your email informal and make sure to be friendly as well. Next slide.
Yeah, so I can take it over from here. So this is going to be our first epic game time, as we call it. We're going to be looking at some cold calling templates. So for each of the following slides, what I want you guys to do is, okay, so first I'm going to read them both up to you. Then I'm going to ask you which template would you think would be more effective when you're sending it out to someone for a specific purpose. Next slide. So this is the template one, the first template, and it's for LinkedIn messages. So it's just saying, hello, insert name. So thanks for connecting. I'm really interested in whatever industry they're in. And I was wondering if you could share some tips to succeeding in that field. Next one. And the second template is, so for this second template, what we're assuming is that this person is a TEDx speaker, but realistically, it can be any role. So it's just, hello, insert name. Thanks for connecting. I saw on your profile that you're a TEDx speaker. That's amazing. How did you get to that position? So I want you guys to type in the chat or unmute yourself or whatever, and just explain to me like which template would you feel more comfortable getting a response from, and why? Caleb says I feel like the first one's a bit too general. You're just asking for tips. Yes, that's completely true. Yeah, Fahim, you got it right there. Second one talks more about the other person, also open-ended, which is good. Yeah, and the first one, if you talk about specific career advice, it would be a better email. Second one, it's like now Eric said it's more chill. Yep, that's too.
Yep. I agree. It feels more personal.
But as of right now, second one's it. Yeah, that's completely correct. Yeah, I think, yeah. So as you guys pretty much all nailed it, the second one says nothing about you. Yeah, Caleb, that's completely correct. Yeah. So the first one, if hold on. So the first one, if you look at it, it just says, like I believe somebody said, it's kind of just too. It's just too. How do I say this properly? It's too general. It's too broad. So you're just saying, could you share some tips to succeeding in that field? If somebody were to read that, they'd think, oh, well, this person is not really interested in me. They didn't really take the time to know me or get to know me from my LinkedIn profile at least. So they're just asking me for tips. It's kind of like I can kind of neglect that a bit. But if you go to the second one, it's actually showing that this person did some background knowledge, some background checking on you, and has knowledge about what you're doing. So in this scenario, actually, this is kind of like a personal one for me. The most meaningful connection I have right now is from somebody that was a TEDx speaker. And the way I actually, yeah, people like being flattered. That is true. So I was able to generate the best convo with this LinkedIn professional in this exact scenario. This is actually like almost word for word what I typed to him. And he actually personally, he gave me like his TEDx talk. He was talking me through like how I could better myself to get into that field. Because what he actually did is he did a TEDx talk about this concept in mathematics and how mathematics is like the future, can be the future, like stats and data analytics and stuff like that. So yeah, I think really just personalizing this, I think all of you got it, which is really good. And I hope you guys use that in your connections throughout the week. And that's really good that you guys all got that.
All right, I'll take the next two examples. These are not LinkedIn messages, these are emails, obviously. And I kind of went like with the mindset of like, these are emails you're going to be sending to some professional to ask them a question, just get some information about it. So the first one goes, hello, insert name. My name is, well, your name. I work at company name as a position name. I wrote company name and position name here, but like on all honesty, you can just put your school name and your grade. That's what, like when I use these templates, because I actually used these templates before, I just put my school and my name here just to give like, introduce yourself. I just use company and position because I felt like it's a bit more open-ended. I'm currently working on a project and I was wondering whether you'd be open to answer a few questions I had about question topic. Thank you, and then name as a closer. And then the second template goes as like this. So hello, my name is, well, my name. I'm a position at company name. I noticed your profile on platform and I was wondering whether you'd be able to answer a couple of questions. I'm currently working on a project about project subject, so I figured you'd be the right person to ask. Thank you, and then name. So go ahead and type your opinions in the chat. Yeah, you guys got it. Yeah, two does go a lot more into detail. So like, comparing it to what Eric said earlier, you want to introduce yourself as well as do a bit of research on the person. So, as you can see with the second slide, I'm, noticing your profile and platform, and then you're, asking the questions and kind of, it's also, I don't know about, what you guys think, but I also think the second one is also a bit more chill. Like Eric said, it's not as formal. But like, honestly though, I've actually used both of these templates and I've gotten very good responses back from them. So this first one, this is like the email I sent to he was the general manager of RBC in like Southern Ontario. And I did get a response it was for DECA, yeah. And he sent like a huge email back of like all the questions afterwards. He had a good conversation. And then the second one, I sent this out to like, he was a general manager at like some big like concrete company. It was for some project, and I also got a good response. And funny enough, like when you include your school name, like a lot of times, I don't know if this really influenced or not, but like both of these people somehow like either had connections at White Oaks or they knew somebody or they went to White Oaks themselves. If you didn't know, I go to White Oaks, right? So like, yeah, I guess Wasp is just a good school, but like, I don't know. I feel like including your school there kind of makes it a bit more legitimate. At least, they can look up your school and you're not like, you're not bluffing or anything. Like, it's not just like a scam or something, it makes it a bit more legitimate. So yeah, that's it. I mean, like, again, both of these emails they both work, but you guys are right. The second one is a bit more in detail. It follows a bit more of the tips that Eric said. It's just more likely to get a response.
Cool. So thank you, Devin, Vedant, and Eric for the awesome presentations as well as the awesome game time. So now is everyone's chance to throw in questions. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat, or I recommend you unmute it because you're going to have to get used to talking with people if you want to network. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But if you have questions, put them out there and we'll work on answering them. And I can give you guys a few seconds to type that out. And if you don't have questions, we can move on.
I'll ask a question for fun.
Go ahead.
If you were to put a bullet point list of the key things you need to hit when reaching out to someone, what would you say they are?
That's a really good question. So I'm going to put in my thoughts, and then my friends are going to put in their thoughts. But my thoughts are, it would be three things. It would be, first of all, that you know who they are. Second of all, that how they can know who you are. And third of all, what you want with them. So I guess if we go back for a second into like these templates, we can see over here, you know, this is who I am. I noticed your profile on platform. This is who you are. And I was wondering if you were able to answer a couple questions, and I was working on projects. So I think, and that is what I want from you. So I think, bluntly put, those are the three things that you should have on a cold call or just some way of reaching out to people. If you guys want to add anything, feel free to put them in now.
No, I mean, I pretty much have the exact same three things. Like I think those are actually the very important key things that are nailed all of them, I think.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, great questions, Andrew. Thank you. Cool. All right. Well, in that case, I guess we can move on now. So here we have Epic Game Time number 2, mock networking. So there's a platform called Gather.town, and on Gather.town, it allows you to have a sort of a virtual space. It's like Zoom, except way cooler. You guys will see later. So here we have a Gather.town link, which I'm actually going to copy. And all right, Vedant put it in the chat for me. You win. So we'll give you guys more details on what we're going to be doing, but essentially it's a mock networking sort of type of thing. So I'll see you guys in there, and I highly recommend you guys check it out because it's going to be really awesome. So thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you at Gather.town, which is in the chat.